Hello and welcome to Express News with me, Deepika, your daily half-an-hour window that brings you quick news and updates from the country and the world in just 30 minutes. Let's begin. India's Prime Minister Narendra Modi will visit Russia to attend the 16th BRICS Summit on 22nd and 23rd of October. The visit underscores India's commitment to BRICS framework and fostering stronger ties with Russia. During his visit, Prime Minister Narendra Modi is also expected to hold bilateral meetings with his counterparts from BRICS members countries and invited leaders in Kazan. India's Prime Minister Narendra Modi addressed the NDTV World Summit 2024, the India Century, in New Delhi today. While addressing, he said that India has become a ray of hope in this era of global turmoil. The Prime Minister noted that the country is advancing on an unprecedented scale in all the sectors. He also said that India, with artificial intelligence, can do wonders for the world. India's Union Home Minister Amit Shah pays tribute to all police personnel at the National Police Memorial in New Delhi on the occasion of Police Commemoration Day. India's Union Home Minister Amit Shah also addressed the memorial on the occasion. He informed that more than 216 police personnel were killed in line of duty in the past 1 year. In India's Jammu and Kashmir, a joint team neutralized one heavily armed terrorist and recovered arms and ammunition from the encounter site at Baramulla. Indian Army and Police launched a joint anti-infiltration operation along LOC in Uri based on intelligence inputs regarding likely infiltration pit. The operation is in progress. Chief Minister of West Indian State of Uttarakhand, Pushkar Singh Dhami, virtually flagged off Lal Kuan Bandra Terminal Super Express on Monday. Lal Kuan Bandra Terminus Super Express train service aims at providing and improving travel between Mumbai and Uttarakhand, making it easier for the travellers to access religious and tourist destinations. India's Labour and Employment Minister Dr. Mansukh Mandaviya launched the e-Shram platform, one-stop solution for unorganised workers in New Delhi today. The e-Shram platform will act as a mediator to ensure that unorganised workers have easy access to government schemes. India is celebrating 8 years of Udan, an initiative that has transformed India's aviation sector. Aimed at democratizing air travel, Udan focuses on connecting underserved and remote regions, ensuring affordable flights. Over 14 million passengers have benefited, with more than 280,000 flights operating under the scheme. The target is to operationalize 100 under-reserved airports and open 1,000 new air routes. Union Civil Aviation Minister Ram Mohan Naidu stressed the Civil Aviation Ministry is considering amending existing laws to deal with false bomb threats. In India's West Bengal, agitating junior doctors along with the senior doctors have given a call for strike to the state government if their demands are not fulfilled. As the doctors are seeking justice for their deceased colleague at RG Kar Medical College and Hospital, the junior doctors have threatened to go on strike on the 22nd of October. IED blast ripped through a wall of the school in Delhi's Rohini on Sunday. Some damage to nearby shops and cars were reported. Preparations are underway in Uttar Pradesh's Ayodhya for the Deepotsav festival. The authorities plan to light over 2.5 million lamps during Diwali. A viewing gallery is being constructed at Ramkipadi in Uttar Pradesh for the attendees, which will be ready before the event. Maldives has decided to introduce India's unified payment interface. President Dr. Mohammad Muissu's office said that the move will bring significant benefits to Maldivian economy. Maldivian President Mohammad Muissu will also set up consortium for the same. He suggested that banks, telecom companies, state-owned companies and fintech companies could be included in the consortium. Indian equity indices ended on a weak note with Nifty below 24,800 on 21st of October. At close, the Sensex was down 73.48 points or 0.09% at 81,151.27. Nifty was down 72.9 points or 0.29% at 24,781.1. Gold futures maturing on the 5th of December stood at 78,345 rupees per 10 grams on Multi-Commodity Exchange of India. Silver futures maturing on the 5th of December were retailing at 97,936 per kilogram on the MCX. Indian chemical industry set for 15 to 20% growth amid China's struggles with unused capacity, report by Axis Capital said. Currently, China accounts for over 40% of the global chemical market, with the US and the European Union each contributing 13 to 15%. India's market share remains around 4%. It is poised to grow substantially. China's central bank cuts two key rates to historic lows to boost sluggish spending and kickstart its economy. Both 1-year and 5-year loan prime rate was cut by 0.25%. Both the rates were last reduced in July and are sitting at all-time lows. China's central bank cuts come just after days the country posted its lowest quarterly growth in a year and a half. US Secretary of State Antony Blinken is all set to visit West Asia to push for Gaza ceasefire. It is his 11th trip to the region since October the 7th, 2023 attack on Israel. During his discussions with regional leaders, Secretary Blinken plans to stress the urgency of ending conflict. Discussions will also include post-conflict strategies for the Palestinian territory. Diplomatic solutions with Hezbollah will also be there. Israel-Hezbollah exchanged fire over Israel-Lebanon border. The Israeli army said it identified 25 launches from Lebanon into Israel. Explosions shook northern Israel's sky. Israeli air defense systems intercepted a barrage of Hezbollah rockets fired over the border. Israel conducted several strikes in southern Lebanon as seen from across the border in northern Israel. Hezbollah said it repeatedly targeted Israeli troops in South Lebanon border villages over several hours on Monday, saying at least one of the attacks caused certain casualties. Trucks carrying humanitarian aid crossed the border from Israel into the Gaza Strip on Monday. The trucks crossed through the Erez crossing. Nearly 1 lakh children were vaccinated against the polio virus on Sunday. With this, over 2,35,918 children have received vaccination in southern Gaza so far. Brazilian President Luiz Inácio Lula da Silva has cancelled his trip to Russia following medical advice after hurting his head in an accident at home. He will now participate in the meeting via video conference. US Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin visited Ukraine on Monday in a show of solidarity with Kyiv. The visit is 2 weeks ahead of a US presidential election that is casting uncertainty over the future of Western support. Austin's Kyiv trip will include in-depth discussions about US efforts to help Kyiv shore up its defenses as Russian forces gain ground in eastern Ukraine. Russia strikes Kyiv with several waves of drones for the second night in a row, damaging residential buildings and injuring at least one civilian. Ukrainian military said air defense is down 59 out of 116 Russian drones launched overnight. The military lost track of 45 drones that likely fell into Ukrainian territory. South Korea on Monday condemned North Korea's illegal involvement in Ukraine. South Korea's spy agency said North Korea had shipped 1,500 special forces troops to Russia's Far East for training. Russian Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov dismissed recent US calls for nuclear talks without preconditions as a deception. Lavrov suggested that the US's ultimate aim is Russia's strategic defeat on the battlefield. In Pakistan, the government narrowly passed constitutional amendments on Monday, giving lawmakers more power to appoint top judges. Under the judicial reforms passed during an early morning session of the parliament, Pakistan's Chief Justice will now be selected by a parliamentary committee. As US presidential flight rages on, Harris accuses Trump of demeaning the office of the president, while Trump keeps focus on illegal immigration. Tesla and SpaceX CEO Elon Musk rallied solo for Republican presidential candidate Donald Trump, urging people to vote in the key swing state of Pennsylvania. Newly elected Indonesian President Prabowo Subianto officially sworn in his cabinet on Monday. He was sworn in with over 100 ministers and deputies and 48 ministers. Mozambique's capital saw violent clashes between protesters and police on Monday. People gathered on the streets demonstrating against the killing of opposition party heads. Time to take a short break. We'll be right back.
Geopolitics and trade deals. Economic challenges amid development. Hard work and the path to prosperity. It's the economy always. Between walkers, money is what money does and says. Supply creates its own demand. Between the bulls pulls and bears tears. When supply chains globalization and India rises to the podium. We'll get you centered with the economic brief at 8 p.m. every Thursday on DD India.
Welcome back after that short break. You're watching Express News. 16th Conference of the Parties, or COP16, to the UN's Convention on Biological Diversity begins today. The conference theme is Peace with Nature. About 12,000 delegates, including 140 government ministers and 7 heads of states, are due to attend the world's biggest nature protection conference held every 2 years. The national capital's air quality, which is currently in the poor category, is likely to deteriorate to very poor between Monday and Wednesday. As pollution level continued to rise in the national capital city, toxic foam was also seen floating on the Yamuna River. In India, the coastal state of Odisha prepares for Cyclone Dana and the heavy rainfall that will follow in the aftermath. The state government has ramped up operations for cyclone preparedness. Hurricane Oscar bore down on the Caribbean island, bringing strong winds and rain to northeastern Cuba and threatening to further complicate the government's efforts to re-establish service. Cuba's electrical grid collapsed again on Sunday, fourth such failure in 48 hours as a looming Hurricane Oscar threatened to wreak further havoc on the island. Cuba's meteorological survey warned of an extremely dangerous situation in eastern Cuba. The entire region was largely without electricity or communication ahead of the storm. Heavy rain caused extensive flooding in Italy's northern region. Violent rains have caused several rivers to overflow. Aerial footage published by the fire brigade showed residential areas submerged in floodwaters. The government has urged the citizens to stay indoors. King Charles and Queen Camilla received a ceremonial welcome at Australia's Parliament House in Canberra on Monday. The King inspected the Royal Guard of Honour, received a 21-gun salute and signed both the visitor books in the marble foyer. Hundreds of zombies took over the streets of Santiago to take part in the annual Zombie Walk. Blood-drenched zombies, Beetlejuice characters and even a furry dog participated in the parade. Zombie walkers were accompanied by the horror truck, a vehicle playing music along their route. An event was held in central Japan's Toyama prefecture featuring manhole covers decorated with attractions from across the country. The Manhole Summit began a decade ago to encourage public awareness and interest in the sewage system. A popular Japanese folk tale hero, Momotaro, was painted on a lid from Okayama City. The highest peak in Thailand, Doi Intanon, is drawing in tourists eager to experience the first thrill of the season and witness the magnificent sea that blankets the landscape. On an average, 2,000 to 3,000 visitors currently visit Doi Intanon daily. Doi Intanon is adorned with lush greenery, vibrant mosses and ferns that thrive in the cool and moist climate. As part of World Reptile Awareness Day, 3 Galapagos giant tortoises stepped up to the scales at London Zoo in a new weighing process. The new system called station training means that the animals can participate as much as possible in their own health assessments without much intervention from the zookeepers. The Macau Tower Run 2024 took place with over 300 participants. The event is organized by the charity Oxfam and proceeds will be donated to a child development program in mainland China. The organizer hopes that the Tower Run could be a sporting event that would contribute to Macau's tourism industry given its diversity of runners. The 4-day Cultural Week of China and Portuguese-speaking countries kicked off at the Macau Fisherman's Wharf. The Cultural Week of China and Portuguese highlights Lusophone culture and traditions, offering dance and music performances, food and handicraft market. Phu Quoc Island in the southern province of Vietnam has secured second place in the list of Asia's top 10 islands, according to Condé Nast Traveler's Reader's Choice Awards 2024. Covering 567 square kilometers and home to 180,000 people, the island boasts both wild and natural beauty. The island also features a marine sanctuary and a national park renowned for its diverse trekking activities. Prime Minister of Vietnam has issued an official dispatch urging ministries, branches and localities to assist individuals and businesses in restoring agricultural, forestry and fishery production affected by recent storms and floods. Prime Minister of Vietnam also directed amendments to the decree on mechanisms and policies supporting agricultural production recovery impacted by natural disasters and epidemics. Vietnamese Women's Day, celebrated across Vietnam, is an occasion to honor the tireless contribution of Vietnamese women and look back on Vietnam's strong efforts towards gender equality. Throughout Vietnam, an occasion of Vietnamese Women's Day, various inspirational stories of women affirming their roles and positions in their communities, showcasing Vietnamese achievements in gender equality are shown. Britain's ugliest dog, who starred alongside Hollywood A-listers in Deadpool and Wolverine, has been nominated for a Fido Award. Peggy the Puggies is a 5-year-old pug and Chinese crested cross. He's been recognized for her film debut as Dog Pool alongside Ryan Reynolds and Hugh Jackman. This year's London Film Festival drew to a close with a gala screening of Piece by Piece, an animated biopic of music star Pharrell Williams. The animated feature, voiced by Pharrell, takes the audience on a journey through the musical. Pharrell wrote an original song for the film, also titled Piece by Piece, about building a dream from the ground up. US music star Lionel Richie said he was heading to the best touring spot in the world next year as he announced a new set of UK and European concerts kicking off next spring. The Grammy Award-winning singer-songwriter Lionel Richie's Say Hello to the Hits tour will begin in Belfast on the 31st of May and wrap in Madrid on the 2nd of August. Liam Payne and One Direction fans gathered around the Peter Pan statue in London's Kensington Gardens to sing in mourning to their pop idol who died in Buenos Aires, Argentina. Weeping Directioners sung the boy band's hit including History, Night Changes and Story of My Life as they remembered the singer. Streets of Mexico City were overrun with the undead as thousands of zombie enthusiasts flooded the streets for the city's annual zombie walk, transforming the urban landscape into a spooky spectacle. Dressed in ghoulish costumes and elaborate makeup, the undead horde gathered downtown and creeped out passerby in the streets of Mexico City. All-rounder Amelia Kerr led New Zealand to their first ever Women's T20 Cricket World Cup victory as they beat South Africa by 32 runs. New Zealand's batter Susie Bates breaks Mithali Raj's record by becoming the most capped player in women's cricket. Spin bowling all-rounder Washington Sundar has been added to the Indian squad for the upcoming second and third test of India versus New Zealand. Indian to carefully manage Rishabh Pant's workload for the remainder of the series against New Zealand after Pant suffered a knee injury. Indian archer Deepika Kumari bagged silver medal in women's recurve event at the Archery World Cup final in Mexico. Deepika lost to China's Li Jianmen by 6-0 in the final. Manchester United's manager Erik ten Hag honoured at an awards ceremony in UK for his team's performance at the latest edition of the FA Cup final. Liverpool secured a 2-1 home victory over Chelsea in Premier League match on Sunday. The victory helped them to top Premier League standings. Lionel Messi's Inter Miami were awarded a spot in next year's FIFA Club World Cup in the United States. Arina Sabalenka has risen to the top spot in latest WTA rankings, marking the second occasion in which the Belarusian surpasses Iga Swiatek. And India's Arjun Kade and Ritvik Bulipalli produced a stunning comeback to win the men's doubles title at the Almaty Open tournament in Kazakhstan. And with this, it's a wrap here in Express News for now, but news and updates will continue here on DD India. So don't go anywhere, keep watching and keep tracking DD India for all latest news and updates from the country and the world. Thank you so much for joining us right now. Namaskar.